Hey everybody, I know I'm later than usual, but I don't really have a set time. But I like trying to come on like around 10:30. That's usually when everybody like done settled in and everything and ready to, sit back and relax after a long day. And today has been a long day. My day was a little bit longer, and I just came back from the emergency room. Hello, and thank you for the hearts. Um, my day was a little bit longer, and I've been spending a whole lot of time at the emergency room, and today was no different. Back at the emergency room, one of my kids needed stitches tonight. Cut her hand on a can. So, the story of my life. If it ain't one thing, it's two or three others. So, it is what it is. But I came on to right now I'm in the midst of going through chemotherapy. I think I'm on day 78 of being diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Hey, Chris. Um, I'm on day, I believe, 78 of chemotherapy. For those of you all who don't know, I was diagnosed on Valentine's Day. So go back and do your math. Go back and do your math, and then we'll all have it right. Somebody let me know. Sometimes I'll be on schedule, but I came on to talk about what happened at chemo today. This is like my diary to like let me know what all the ups and downs or what I went through. That's why this channel is called Life with Tashana, because whatever it is that I got going on that day, that's what you're gonna get. I appreciate that so much. Thank you, Chris. Um, so today, I went to chemo. Walking in the building, my stomach felt funny, and I've been in another situation similar to this, but very different. Um, but I remember I started to feel this same feeling like when I see the building, like my stomach automatically gets sick. Hey, vibe. My stomach starts to get sick as soon as I arrive at this building. So I get there, and the first thing that I encounter is a nurse that she gets all of what new prescriptions are you on or whatever. And from going to the hospital about 5 times in the past 2 months, um, I have accumulated a lot of prescriptions. So I'm naming to the nurse what prescriptions that I have, and everything. And it's so many of them. I can't hardly keep up. Hey, Gamma, other known as Get Your Big Ass Up. So I encounter a nurse, and I'm telling her about everything, and then she's asking me some other questions which lead into me telling her some things where she let me know, continue to advocate for yourself. Nobody else is going to do it. Advocate for yourself. So, and I had told y'all that I had got a phone call from a couple of nurses or whatever, and they were like trying to express to me, almost like to put in a good word for them or something like that. And so, I'm feeling pretty good, Gamma. Hey, Korean. So, my next step now, I'm doing blood work and everything at this moment, talking to this nurse, and she just reminding me to advocate for myself, advocate for myself. So now it's time for me to go back and see my doctor. And y'all know I've been telling y'all a little bit by little bit every day of like what's been happening to me with legacy. We gonna get your ass on up out of here because I ain't with it tonight. Goodbye. And I don't care if you meant good by that or whatever, but I don't know what you mean by coming in here and saying something stupid like that. But going on about your business. Anyway, we gonna get back on track. Um so now it's time for me to go back and see my doctor. And I go back and explain to him, which I've been explaining to y'all every day, what's been happening to me. Every day as I go to the doctor. And these have not been any small things. And for you, I will name some of the things. Some of the things is I've been diagnosed with diabetes when I've never had diabetes before. Um, and one of those things that, as I explain some of the things, I'm going to tell you what my doctor's response to it was. And I actually have a voice a voice recording of what happened in that doctor's appointment today. And I thought it was I thought it was actually crazy the responses that I was getting from my doctor explaining this thing to him. So you all know it's documented on here that when I started out, and yes, I am fat for the one who just came in here um, and said what they said. Um, and so I want you to know that that is not a dig. But anyways, um, I came from 379 pounds, and you know the devil know they be busy. Stop thinking you're right and your doctor is not. Okay, do woo woo or do wop or do not. I'm gonna let you stay right on in here because I guarantee you before the night over with, you gonna pay for everything that you did, and I put that on everything that I love. So stay on in here and keep on doing what you're doing. The rest of you all too. Stay right on over here and rock with us. Thank you, KMCP. I know he does. I know he does, and that's why I'm telling these trolls that's in here playing tonight, you playing around in the wrong space. So okay, before your night over with, you will be very uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. In Jesus' name, Amen. Hey, Detroit. Okay, so let me continue on, and maybe you'll figure out you need to troll somewhere else, but you've already earned your reward over here on this side. It doesn't matter where you go. So you can choose to leave now or you can choose to leave later. But I'm telling you, before 12 o'clock tonight hit, you're going to pay. You're going to pay in Jesus' name for the disturbance you came over here and started. And I put that on everything. Everything. Now, let's go. So, don't worry about it, do woot. You gonna know and your family's gonna know too. There's a price to pay when you coming over playing around with things the way you playing with. That's all you need to know. So, you should ask yourself. You should ask yourself that. I don't need to tell you why. That's something you need to figure out. You came over here being a disturbance as to what I'm doing over here. And I'm gonna let you be a distraction. Because and Chris, yeah, I see it's a distraction to you, and I know. But I'm gonna talk to these trolls because I want them to know. I'm gonna make them out of it. I'm gonna let them be examples over here. Whatever you do to me, I ask God to give it back to you 10 times what you give it to me in his son's Jesus name. And now you have a conversation, doot woots or whoever the hell you are, you have a conversation with him and ask him, why are you going to pay before 12 o'clock tonight? Ask him. And I know, Jonathan, you too. You don't have an auntie over here. You don't have an auntie over here. And for as long as they want to be disturbances and until somebody get them up out of here, I'm going to keep on talking about them. You think God and Jesus is used to get back at people? I don't think he used to get back at people, but I know when you cause a disturbance in what God is doing, there is a price. There is a price. Anybody on here disagree with me saying that? Anytime you coming in and disrupting what God is doing, there's a price for you to pay for that. Thank you ever so kindly, Phoenix. You got to be able to work your magic. Because I'm going to keep on talking to him. I can tell my story anytime. I can make shorts and everything to tell my story. But sometimes I'm going to interact with some of these trolls. I am. And it just is what it is. Now, y'all know I've been saying, uh, whatever you ask for me, or whatever you do for me, take it however you want to take it. I ask God to give it back to you 10 times what it is that you give to me. And that goes every which way. If you meant good for me and you, or if you meant bad for me and you don't even know me, then whatever it is that you're trying to give to me, I send it right back to the sender. Send it right back to you. And I believe my God is swift in the time that He did, because He showed me today that He works swiftly. And so I'm going to say to you, whatever's coming to you, it will already start before 12, before the day ends. You did it in today, and you will pay for it today. And I put that on everything. Okay, so now let's go back to what I was saying happened today. I went in to see my doctor, and I was telling him about that I have developed diabetes, and I worked very hard, you all know, to lose 130 pounds, which then took my A1Cs way down, away from being diabetic. And then I continued to do things, but you know, when women losing weight or whatever, you start to hit like plateaus where like you don't really move that much, or you don't do anything. But y'all know I had already been talking about, golly, I want to lose at least another 50 pounds. I never wanted to be like very, very skinny or anything like that. Hey, everybody that's coming in, and I'm trying not to be distracted, but I love and appreciate y'all. Say what you're going to say through the chat. I do usually go back to it and then answer questions and everything. So, I did a lot of work to not be. I even told you all that I was angry about that. That I did all of the work I did, and I did hard work. A doctor didn't help me lose weight. No, nothing. I got out there in the yard, and I got it the hard way to be able to lose that weight that I lost. And I'm so disappointed that I still ended up with diabetes. My doctor then began to tell me that he feels like that it was not a side effect from me having the chemo. I'm going to play the recording for you all. I'm just not going to play it tonight, because there's some things that I want to delete from out of there before like I post it. But I just felt like he was doing his job. I want to say that. But also, on one side he was doing his job, on the other side he was not. It was like he was blaming me for everything, as if chemo doesn't cause any of these effects or whatever. So he was like at first saying that he don't think that it's a part of it. Then he changed it later on to say, oh well, yeah, it's a part of the steroid. The steroids will make your situation go out of whack and all of this stuff right here. Then the next thing, they ended up telling me, well, the nurse told me from the beginning, when you get on this scale it has 3 pounds added to the scale. Not that it's a big old thing. I've been losing 10 pounds every week from going through chemo. And on this week, when I go, I've missed 3 weeks. So, of course, I've gotten an appetite back. So, I've been eating this past 3 weeks without vomiting and doing all of the extra stuff, without being sick, without having the diarrhea, without having all of these extra things that come along with it. So this last 3 weeks has been a better week for me. And so, yes, I've been eating. So when I got on the scale said that I was 15 pounds heavier than I was, which means I actually gained 12 pounds. So, anyways, he continued to tell me twice, well, you did this and you did that, and then you gained 12 of the pounds back that you lost or whatever. And so I was just like, okay. And I let him go on and on and on. Then I began to tell him, my kidneys went from working at 100% to 88%. Is that my fault too? I didn't ask him that, but I'm just telling him all of the heavy things that have been happening to me. And it was just like, to me, um it didn't matter what I said. And I'm going to let you all hear the recording. I'm telling you, I'm going to let you hear the recording. But I want to delete some things out of there. I don't want all of my information all over the place. But I do want you all to be able to hear me, because I'm open like that. It just didn't matter what it was that I was saying to him today. It seemed like his sole thing was, we don't care about any of that stuff that you're going through. We just want you to get this chemo. And I couldn't get that out of my mind. And so, I told you all the last time that I went and seen him, there was a conversation about they were going to change the amount of chemo that they give me. And right now I'm on 80%. So him and another doctor was having a conversation about it, because they compared to a MRI and a CAT scan together. He never changed that. So what he was going to do was send me back in there to get the same dosage that keeps sending me to the hospital every time that I have chemo, having to stay in there because I can't quit vomiting, and the medicine that they give me to stop vomiting, it does not work. So um he didn't talk about changing that until I kept going on and on. But the reaction that I was getting from him put me in a place of the same thing as when I was growing up as a child, and I was trying to hang around my daddy, and he did the shoo you away situation, get away from me. I started to feel that. And my reaction to that is, when I feel that way, is like I'm not being heard, because he didn't answer any of my questions or anything like that. I start to shut down. So in the appointment, I started to get quiet, and I didn't have anything else really to say to him, because I saw just how this is going. He didn't answer not one of my questions, like, why is this happening? Why is this happening? So then I have my sister on the telephone, and I have my daughter at the appointment with me. And so my sister then takes over, and she starts asking the doctor questions or whatever. And again, it still seemed like his only interest was, hurry up and shut up so we can go and give you this chemo. So as my sister started to talk to him, he agrees to take the chemo down another, I believe he said 15%. But again, I tell y'all, this is the point that I have now checked out of the appointment. And on top of it, another major thing that has happened to me is that I found out where they put this port in my chest. I now also have an aortic aneurysm. And he said that that also has nothing to do with me going through chemo. But then turned around and said that aortic aneurysm can be caused by stress. So you mean to tell me all the stuff that I've been going through does not cause me any stress? And I had this aortic aneurysm before I came to. How in the world I've had all kinds of stuff done on my chest and everything, and I've had MRIs and everything. The proof is already here. And you mean to tell me that this aortic aneurysm just showed up out of nowhere? So I've been going through a lot of stuff, and it was like everything. He has no answers for me, and he was blaming me for everything. But again, I would like to say I could have been in my feelings or whatever. So I would like for you all to hear it. Eventually, I will post it, and so you all can hear what I was hearing in my appointment. But anyways, I shut down at a certain point, and my sister is just doing the talking and asking him questions. Then he agrees that he's going to take it down by 15%. I believe is what he said. Don't take me verbatim. The recording is there. So she continues to have this appointment with him, and she already knows how it goes. She knows at this point I have shut down because I am now crying. And I don't have anything to say. And you can hear me say, because y'all know my voice disappears when I start to cry or whatever. And I just say to him, I'm just gonna do it. let's just go do the chemo. It's like, I don't know. And at this point, submission comes in. Not submission to the doctor, but submission to God. God, I'm going to submit to this process because I came here because I thought you were going to answer me. I didn't have an answer when I came through that door. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know what was going to happen. But at this point, God, I'm going to submit this process to you. And whatever is supposed to happen, let it happen. Once I said I'm just going to get the chemo, the doctor was like, he was so excited that I get it. And maybe that's where he's supposed to be. I don't know, but I'm annoyed at this time. So he say, okay, come on, let's go. Let's get this chemo going. So I don't want him to open the door for me at this point or no nothing. I'm annoyed with him. I'm angry with him and everything. And I'm not saying much of anything. So I go to grab the door to open the door and let myself out. But he hurry ups and jumps up and he opens the door as a gentleman. I must say, but I'm telling you, I'm angry at this time. We walk out in the hall. We head down to the room where you get chemo done at. When I get down there, I'm still hurt. I'm still angry, and at this moment, I'm waiting on God to answer me, and I can't believe God ain't answer me at this moment. In the moment that I've been praying and asking for, when we get here, God, I need an answer as to what I'm supposed to do because I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm scared in this moment. I have no way to answer any of these questions. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what they showing. They telling me it's not shrinking. It's not doing anything. And so I don't have any answers as to what I'm supposed to do. And you told me that I should ask you and invite you in the situations that I'm going through. And so I still have no answer. So I go in and I sit in a chair and you wait for a nurse to approach you to tell you which side of the chemo room that you're going to be on, so you can choose your chair of where you want to be at during your chemo process. So the nurse comes up and I can't stop these tears from flowing. I'm the same way I am on here with you all. I don't care if I'm in front of that whole chemo room and I'm telling you it was about 100 people in there getting 100 people. Yeah, I'll still say there was about 25 people on one side and 25 people on the other side. And at this point, I don't really see any of these people. I am where I am at this point, and the tears are flowing. And so my nurse for today walks up to me and she said, "What's going on?" And I try to explain to her what's going on. And I'm telling you, inside of this port, I'm going to explain just a little bit. In this port, there are two lines that I feel I can't see it, so I can't necessarily tell you. In the port, there's like a quarter size situation here with a rubber thing in the middle of it where they are able to put a needle inside of it and access the port to blood flow, right? But from the port, from what I feel and what I can feel, there's like two straws that come out of the port that runs up to my jugular vein right here. I don't know if I'm turning my neck enough so you can see those lines there. So what it feels like is those lines have now bent and it has two pointy parts there. And so I'm telling her that I can feel this thing stabbing me in my chest. It is painful. And it's like I'm explaining it to the doctor and he doesn't care. But then he's saying, well, I'm going to set you up so you can go and get a MRI and also get an ultrasound of the port. But you so anxious to send me back here because if this part is bent up, like you just take a regular straw and bend it over, then what's going to happen when they get ready to put chemo inside of this? And I want you to understand, when chemo is being inserted in your body, at certain parts of the process, they put on this gown that I actually have. So if you have a mistake here at home and that thing snatches out of you or whatever, You got to get into a whole get up to cover yourself because this stuff will destroy your skin. But I can't ask any questions about you pumping that thing inside of my body. So imagine if it will eat up your skin, what is it doing to the inside of you? And you're not allowed to ask questions, or somebody's offended that you're asking questions and they don't have time to answer you. So the nurse comes up to me and she says, "Well, can you show me where this thing is poking you into your chest?" And I said, "Yes." So she didn't even put on gloves. And it's not an open wound or anything. It's just her touching my skin. But she wanted to feel what I feel. And mind you, I don't care what a doctor does. If you've ever been in a hospital and everything, you know you don't deal with the doctors more than you do with the nurses, right? So this doctor is so anxious to get me there, and I get in front of this nurse, and she has more concern than what the doctor has. So she takes her finger and I touch the area to show her where this thing is poking me into my chest. She takes her naked finger, and puts it over the part where this thing is poking me in my chest, and she can feel it. Now, this is what I did not know. I thought if the doctor said it, word is born. I don't got, that's the end of it. That's how it goes. But she deals with ports every day, all day. It's her job. She comes up to me, and after she touches it, she can feel what I feel. And I also let the doctor feel it too. But he didn't care, in my opinion. You all might have a different opinion. But I feel like he didn't care. He just wanted the money. I don't know how much he getting paid off of making this thing happen or whatever. I just feel like he just didn't care, and he wasn't concerned with what I was concerned with. So she is, you can tell she's concerned about my tears and I'm being worked up or whatever. So she goes back there and she gives me a moment, and then she comes back and she says to me, I thought she was saying that she was going to access the port. But when she came back out, she said to me, "Today, what we're going to do is we're going to give you a steroid treatment and an iron treatment." So I'm confused at this moment because I don't understand what's going on. I don't know that the nurse can override what old Doc said. I don't know this. And now, mind you, I'm saying, God, why aren't you answering me? Why haven't you given me an answer? I'm so confused. I don't know what I'm doing here. But I told y'all the last time chemo came up, God said no. So here I'm thinking, whatever this lady is saying, it is whatever the doctor has said. I'm gonna have to get this chemo, and so now I'm just like, and I don't agree to it because I'm just like, okay, we just gonna go down the line of everything else that been happening to me. So let them go ahead and do what it is that they gonna do. I got there in the chair, and what she did today, it still took away my energy. I came home and I went to sleep up until almost the point of where my daughter cut her finger. But the nurse said, whatever's going on with your port, I, as your nurse, do not feel comfortable accessing that port. So today, you will not be having chemo. Because I thought what she was finna try to do was access a vein in my arm to be able to give me the chemo. And she said, no, no, that's that's not what we're doing. The only thing we're giving you is today. So now I have an appointment, but the doctor set my appointment again for Wednesday for me to come and have chemo. again on Wednesday. And so I'm asking, well, what if Wednesday come and they haven't set my appointment up for the ultrasound to see what's wrong with the thing? I say, am I supposed to just come in here and try it again, even though this thing hasn't been done, nor the MRI or anything that has been done? It's just like, I was just so disappointed. And I've been feeling for a long time that there are a lot of doctors out here that they move like robots. They don't care about us. They not concerned with the things that we concerned, that they just want that almighty dollar. And that's the one thing that I don't like about the healthcare system over here. When you go to these other places that have free healthcare and everything, that's not the way they set you up, because there's no incentive in that way. But let me push this on you. Every time I go, I get a new prescription or two added on to what I'm already taking. And then my daughter them was asking him today, well, if you're lowering, can you guarantee? Because he said your side effects gonna be lessened if you if I lessen, it's gonna be easy. It's gonna be easy for us. So my daughter asked him, well, can you guarantee that we're not going to go through any of the things? Because my daughter can ask that question, because she's the one been staying in the hospital with me almost every single night that I've been in the hospital. Every time I go to the hospital. So she's asking, is there a can you guarantee that she's not going to have these side effects and everything because you're lessening this or whatever? And of course, he mumbled around it. But like I said, I'm going to let y'all hear how this appointment went on today. And I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed. Um, in this, and I just don't know. Maybe it's the way the doctor is supposed to stay focused and not, but I just can't see, like, you don't answer any of my questions. You don't I just gotta let you all hear it, so you know what was happening in there. But I also want you to know that because I submitted to the process and I gave it to God, that okay, if I'm supposed to get chemo today, then let's have chemo today. But God still said no. And I didn't have any, I just said what was going on with me, and the nurse said no. So now let me tell you what happens. I'm sitting in the chair and she's giving me the iron infusion. And I look up at her and I ask her, I say, do you believe in God? She said, yeah, I believe in God. And I said to her, I start to explain to her what I was going through in my head and what some of the things that had been happening to me. And I said to her, I didn't have no answers. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew, let me submit to the process and let God take over. And I said to her, I said, do you know that God used you to give an answer? Because the doctor said I was having chemo today. And you didn't know that me and the doctor was having a back and forth today. And then you came in, and I didn't think your opinion really mattered. And you came in and you said no, which was God's answer. And as I was talking to her once again, and I done said this the second time I done told this story in a week of what's happening with somebody who's interacting with me in the hospital. A tear, you can see the tear lining her eye, getting ready to fall out. And at that moment, I knew that she feels some of the ways that I feel, because I don't do things right all the time. I don't do things right all the time. I say cuss words and I do other things that I ain't supposed to do, but I know God is a forgiving God. And I looked at her and I knew at that moment that she felt so unworthy for me to be saying the things that she said. But I said to her, I want you to know God used you today. He said no. And it is the second time. And she went to turn her head, and that big tear came. She said, oh my God, you're going to make me cry. And I said, And it's all right if you do. But I just wanted you to know that on today, God used you to give me my answer. Now, do I know why God is doing it this way? Because there's a part of me is just like, well, then how am I supposed to get healed from this? Where am I? Which way am I going? And I could hear that ain't none of your business. Just follow me. I'll lead you to where you're supposed to be. So, with that being said, that is what happened in chemo today. Once again, I didn't make the choice. I said yes. I'll just take it. Let me just take the chemo. I said yes. The nurse said no, and she had the last say so. So I'm telling you, whatever situation that you in, submit it to God, even though you don't know what the answer is. Submit it to Him and say, okay, I'm just going to go with it, God. And if it ain't supposed to be what I'm doing, then you make a way. I was ready to take it. And God said, no. Yeah, Gamma, it could be. It could be no to using that doctor. I don't know. But I know today I overrode everything else that I had going on because y'all know I'm supposed to be talking to the bank today, dealing with the bank about my money being stolen from out of my account. I'm supposed to be seeing a cardiologist on today to talk about this aortic aneurysm that's here in my heart. There was a lot of things that was riding on today, and I went there. And so I got to work on getting the other things solved today, on tomorrow. But again, and I told you all when this process first started out, I made the mistake because I'm good at doing it with my kids. I'm good at talking to God and conversing with Him about what I should do and how I should move when it comes down to my kids in the medical field and stuff like that. And when it came down to me, I didn't take those same steps. I just jumped head in and did what the world usually does, and I walked in it. But by the time I got to the third one, I began to say, Golly, I'm so sorry that I didn't even invite you into this process and ask you what it is that I should be doing. And so at that point, I began to pray. And everything that's been happening this past 3 weeks, I'm not afraid of the choices that I've made because I know who I've submitted the process to. And so I'm A-okay with the answers that I'm getting. I know he's going to guide me. So this is the second time that I've tried to go for chemo. Nope, the third time that I've tried to go for chemo, and God said no. The appointment has been changed. Well, they said no the one time because I needed to talk to the doctor before I continued with chemo. The next time they set it up, they had to change it because the doctor wasn't going to be there. And then today, I went there. So it's been now 3 weeks since I've had any chemo treatments. And I will just say to that, thank you, Taz. I would say to that also in the middle of those times, and I don't know what it is. 2 years ago, somebody bought me a soursop tree that I never asked for. I didn't even know anything about it, but this thing is sitting back in my yard and it's growing, and I'm not taking care of it or anything. But all of a sudden, these past couple of weeks, everything that I keep seeing is about a soursop tree. And I even walked with you all one day to walk back to that tree and pull some leaves off of it. And I never got to do anything with those leaves, but something told me to save those leaves and put it in a bag. Those leaves since dried out, and I didn't know why I'm hanging on to them. And was thinking about throwing them away. But then I came to a video that showed me No, the leaves are supposed to be dried out and you're supposed to put them in water and boil them and make you some tea and you can put a little honey in with it. And I don't know anything about that, but also too, I submitted that process to God. And if that's where I'm supposed to be going, because it ain't no coincidence. Somebody bought, do you know how much? Look online and find out how much a soursop tree that's already 5 feet tall when you get it. Find out the price of that. Somebody poured that into me without even knowing. Can I take care of that tree? Not only did they buy that, I gotta tell you on everything. I believe this person spent almost $1,000 buying me trees to go into my yard, and I didn't even ask for them. So much so that it scared me, and I sent words back to him, and I said, "Now I don't want you to be mad if I don't take care of these trees and keep raising them up," because he only wanted me to have them and he wanted air layers off of them. He's seen me air layer some of my mango trees before, and they growing and taking off and doing very well. But I wanted to know that you can't blame me if something does not go right with it. But to me, it ain't no coincidence that that tree is sitting in my yard, and so many people are saying so many things about that tree. And one of the things my doctor told me, don't try no extra herbal things to go along with this. But I still can't get over how that tree, this person didn't have a conversation with me about the trees that they was buying, no nothing, but it's been out there for 2 almost 3 years. And I don't didn't know any of the benefits. I don't know nothing about this tree. But it's already been there and people are talking to me. I just happened to look down at the tree one day when I was out there working in the big garden where I just showed y'all that I started working. Start working back in um, last yesterday. I looked down at it one day and I see, it has a little tag on it that says soursop tree. And that's how I knew that I had a soursop tree in my yard. I knew I planted it there, but I wasn't paying attention to what those things. I didn't even look at it to see. He bought me 3 banana trees, a soursop tree, some other tree. There's like 2 trees that he bought. I don't even know the name of them. He bought me a blood orange tree, a ruby red grapefruit tree. All of them are doing well. He bought me 7 trees that I did not ask for, and they were ordered through the mail and they just came to my address, and I planted them. And of course, yeah, I'm going to do some things to them, but that tree is way back in the back. I call it on the other acres because I tend to stay up in the front part. And I haven't been back there since all of my stuff had died out way back. But there is no coincidence that I have a soursop tree that everybody keeps talking about has so much healing in it. And God had it placed there 2 almost 3 years ago. But again, I said I haven't gotten the answer for that. But what I did, give God a challenge to say, if it's meant for me to start drinking soursop tea, don't let it leave my mind. Let me continuously think about it over and over and over until I make that tea and start to drink it. Right. Of course, they're going to tell you that because their job is to push to you what they selling in the medical field. Uh, that's right, Deborah Powell, a ram in the bush. That's the way that I see. That's the way that I see this soursop tree. Now I didn't see a lot of the questions that y'all have, because y'all know when I get into a spiel or whatever, and that's why I said at the beginning, these trolls, what they doing, they not gonna stop me from telling about what happened today, but I'm gonna tell them what's gonna happen for them before 12 o'clock tonight. And I mean the same way I tell y'all when I say the tenfold thing, I mean it with everything in me, in Jesus' name. And I'm telling you, I'm not a person that always do everything the right way. I have bad thoughts and stuff that I want to say to people. I cuss people out too when they get my time wrong and everything. But God still used me. God still used me. Kimberly, I would love to do that, but I don't quite know you right now. Just keep on hanging around. You might make it on in there. I thank you for asking though. What's a ram in the bush? A ram in the bush is like something that was okay. Say that you needed something, Darcy, right? And you didn't know that you needed that thing because the situation hasn't come up. And y'all can correct me if I'm right. Y'all can tell different stories for y'all. So, and I love that Darcy don't mind asking no questions. I love that about her. um, and say you didn't know that it was. Say that you had like say you had a box, and you put $200 in that box and you set it to the side, right? Or you had a piece of mail that somebody sent you $200 and you didn't know that it was there. And then a problem came up, right? And just all of a sudden, now this problem came up that you didn't know was coming up. Like, say, maybe a pipe or something busted in your floor or something like that, or you don't have gas money for the week or whatever, right? And you happen to go over and you happen to get that to start opening that mail. Well, you don't know that that $200 is there. And the situation that came up, you probably need $150, right? Now you over there opening your old mail that you don't know this $200 sitting in. That's what you call a ram in the bush. You didn't know that it was there. God had already provided it for you and you just didn't know that it was there, but it was there for such a time as right then. So that's just like an example of what a ram in the bush is. It's something that's waiting there to that when you least expect it. And you know, if you saw if you had water flowing all through your house and you didn't think that you can fix it and it's like coming at the worst time ever, you open up that envelope because you just sitting there deciding this is a good time for me to open up my mail. You're gonna fly up out of that chair and you're gonna give God a praise that you ain't never been able to do before because you wasn't expecting the ram that was hiding in the bush. You're welcome, Kimberly. um Something hidden in plain sight. There you go. Gamble put it out there real easy. Thank you, Phoenix. So that's what a ram in the bush is, and I'm pretty sure that done happened in your life before. Something you didn't expect it was going to be solved like that, but it got solved. There's it happened to me all the time. God seems to cover me so kindly. What, Darcy? That's what that means. And it's also a Bible verse. It's also a Bible verse that go along with that. And you know you can type it in and then it'll give you several Bible verses where you can go and read up about it. I've read the whole Bible before. I just can't tell you like where it is in the Bible. Now can I say that I got understanding of everything when I read through the Bible? No, I didn't, because I read it like a book. It wasn't like I was studying or anything, but it was a book that I wanted to read, and I read the entire thing. Now I'm a person that loves when people come over here and put stuff, put Bible verses in the chat. I write those Bible verses down and I go and read them, and all of them be like encouraging um things to me. So yes, Darcy, you got it. Gamma said it. Hey, Tashana. Um, so um yeah, I am okay. I'm having ups and downs, and God knows I keep getting. I'm gonna stop saying I keep getting hit with the 1-2, because I think at this point I'm getting kicked. I'm getting karate kicked, and boy, look at here, they're leaving bruises all over my body. But I'm thankful that they're not lasting days and days and days where they knock me down and I stay down forever. And I think that's one of the things that the devil absolutely hates about me. I think that he hates that. I really do. Cause it get me down for 1 or 2 days. And after that, it ain't able to hold me down for a long period of time because I'm gonna figure out how to move around it. And I know he get extra mad, especially when I start giving like a praise or a song come into my spirit. Like praise is what I do. Ooh, I know he be heated then. But you know they say if you already playing on the devil's team, the devil ain't got no reason to mess with you. It's during the times if you playing on his team, if you ain't playing on his team, is when he got a problem with you. And I don't tend to like to play on his team. Don't mean that I don't be over there dibbling, dabbling every now and then. And I swiftly get the banana peel effect where you better get on, you better move on over from this point right here. And I'll be moving along. I'll be moving along. Sometimes the flesh wants to come up and wants to do what it do, but you know, I don't let it win too often. But yeah, overall, I am doing good. I done had a rough couple of days. Yes, today was even a little sad for me. But after I go over and think about everything and how it happened today, I'm happy that I was able to submit it to God and let Him do with it whatever it is that He wanted to do with it. Hey, Miss Parker, how you doing, Miss Parker? Miss Parker always knows she like one of my favorite people to come in because I don't care what nobody say and do. The movie Friday have me cracking up no matter what. Every time I think I can watch it every day and find something funny about it. That's my thing. Ram in the bush. Thank you, Gamma. Thank you very much. A ram in the bush is Genesis 22:13-19. I was a nurse, honey, and I honestly think you have handled your chemo with courage, and you do as well as you have. Hey, Beverly. And Miss Beverly, you came in at the right time for me to say to you, tenfold. I always say, whatever God, even just for you to come in to say, God bless you, I ask God to give that back to you 10 times what you ask Him for me. And just to ask God for a blessing for me is more than a blessing just for me to see you type that. So I ask Him, whatever blessing you asked Him to pour out on me, may He pour it back out on you 10 times what you asked Him for me in His Son's Jesus' name. Now watch out for it, Miss Beverly, because you know them blessings will get you. They will get you in a good way. So if you ever hear me say tenfold, that's my short version of asking God to bless you just for asking Him. Jesus Christ. I'm a survivor of triple negative breast cancer. I received. Come on with the testimonies. But see, I know without a test, there is no testimony. And I know, Beverly, I can imagine every time you able to tell your testimony, I can see the goosebumps come on your arm to know that you went through all that you went through. And you here to talk about it today. Without a test, there is no testimony. Now, do I be wanting to go through this stuff and everything? But what you all don't hear me say behind the scenes is that, Lord, I hate that I'm going through this. I don't want to go through this. But if you got a purpose in me going through this and you want to use me, I'll do it. But I don't want to. But I will do it. I will do it. Just give me the strength. I ain't asking you to move my mountain. Just give me the strength to climb it so I can complete the task. That's all. OMG, yes, I share my journey any way possible. My journey helps to help others find resources. Absolutely. And I'm just talking about mine because I find it so hard for me now. My mouth has been shut in all of my younger years. I was scared to talk, scared to defend myself, scared to say anything. And it's just like now in my life is like sometimes I even think I overshare with some of the things that I share. But to know how freeing it is to be able to share the things that you've been through, um, and just to know sometimes you hold on to things and it's somebody that can be sitting right next to you that need the testimony that you have on the inside of you, but we be so shamed and held up in those things and we don't share them and don't know that we missed an opportunity to bless somebody else with knowing that you're not out there on that limb by yourself. When I tell you, it I wouldn't wish having cancer on anybody. But when I tell you how many people come through here and say that I've been through this and I've been through this kind of cancer and I'm a survivor of it over and over and over again, it puts something on the inside of me. Because I've already said it before. All of us got a day that we gonna check out of here, but do I think cancer gonna be able to be written and said that's what took me out of here? I don't believe that. I don't believe that. What's gonna take me out of here? I don't quite know. But it ain't gonna be cancer. See, I'm gonna have me a story similar to Miss Beverly. I'm going to have me a story. I can only imagine, Miss Beverly, the compassion and everything, the way you speak to people. Because, see, when you've been through something, there's some special kind of prayers that's on the inside of you that nobody else can't pray the way that you pray about it. Because you actually walked through the fire. You've actually walked through the fire. I don't know if y'all ever see. There's a girl that be in here. Her name is Kajaria. Y'all don't know the things that that girl has been through, and she's not 21 yet. She looked like a little girl, but she's not a little girl. She's an adult. But she done been through so many things and a lot of things. You know, when you have leukemia, they treat leukemia also with chemo. And it is sometimes where I talk about me having that chemo because chemo really, really knocks me down. But imagine if you were a person that you taking chemo and you take it 60 days straight. I cannot even imagine. With every sound of that pump that they send me home with and it makes that noise, I get sicker and sicker with just the sound. I don't even think it has anything to do with the medicine that's being pumped on the inside of me. I'm so disgusted with the pump that they send you home with to continue to pump chemo, because would start chemo on Friday and they would send you home with that pump that continues to pump from Friday to Sunday, and it shuts off about 2 o'clock Sunday afternoon. With each noise that pump makes, pumping more chemo into my body, it makes me a little bit more angry, a little bit more disgusting. And with every single pump, just to hear the noise, of it making another injection inside of me makes me feel sick. Even down to when I go to the doctor's appointment to have the pump removed, they're going to flush the line before they take it out. And just for her to pick up that thing and connect it to the bottom of it to flush that line adds another level of sickness, because in my mind I know you pumping just a little bit more poison into me. And I'm telling you, the last time she put that thing on there to flush that line, as soon as she flushed the line, I began to throw up. And so I don't know what this thing is doing for me. I don't know if I'll ever take chemo again. I don't know. But I know who do know. And that's the process that I'm going to keep submitting to until I'm not supposed to submit to it again. 2 phases of chemotherapy and 33 direct radiations. See, they haven't did, I haven't had to go through radiation, but I am on aggressive, um, an aggressive regimen. Um, and they're saying that it's not shrinking. It's not getting any bigger. And I talked to y'all a lot about I have pancreatic cancer, but also we will forget about I have a spot in my lungs too. That's 3 millimeters. It's very small, but I never talk about that one because it just in my mind. I'll say, well, it ain't no worse than what I got going on my pancreas, because the pancreas is bigger. That it's bigger than what's there in the lung. And I was just like, God, I guess you're gonna handle both of them at the same time. Me too. I could do nothing for myself. Miss Beverly, oh, on those days, I'm telling you, there's times that I can't. Have you? And I'm pretty sure you have had those days where it's just beating you up so bad you can't open your mouth and give words to what's happening. Sometimes your energy is so low it's hard for you to open your eyelids, to hold your eyes open and talk to somebody. You want to know what exhaustion is? Chemo will take everything and leave you with a half a penny. Just like that. I still have my port flushed every month. Wow. Hey, TT. Darcy, that's a good idea. To, like, trying to, like, at nighttime or whatever, put on some headphones or whatever, because like I can sometimes, having that, I can hear it in my sleep sometimes, and I like it, especially at a point where I roll over or whatever. Just to hear it in my sleep wakes me up and makes me disgusted to hear that this pump has, you know, sets one more deposit into my body. Tashana, do you still have pain in your stomach? Sometimes. No, I don't have that, and that's one of the things you will hear. And I said I was going to play the doctor's appointment, the voice recording of the doctor's appointment. I just need to delete some things from out of it, and possibly I'll get it done tomorrow so I can go ahead and post it so you all can hear it. But that's one of the things that the doctor was proud of, and he said that it had to be working because the pain that I was in when I first started into this situation, because in the beginning they thought that I had pancreatitis, right? So I was going to the hospital, and my LaPace numbers, the first time that I had them, my LaPace numbers was up in the thousands. The second time I went in the hospital with pancreatitis, my numbers was in the 700s and climbing. So I've been in excruciating pain where they've given me morphine. Um, um, it's one other one. Is it tramadol or it's a couple of them. they're on here documenting conversations that I'm having about it. They give me those medicines and then it doesn't work. So, but yes, um, I've had experiences with that, where those strong medications did not do anything for my pain. They actually had to keep going through different medications to find what works for me. But since I have been doing chemo, I have no pain from the pancreas at all. That was one of the questions that the doctor asked me today. So, Tashana, yes, no, I do not have any stomach pains at all. Took me down to the lowest. Oh, yes. Do you ever have brain fog? Miss Beverly, I was telling somebody today that my memory used to be like an elephant, but since I've been going through this now, it's like it's so hard for me to remember the smallest of things. And that is so irritating to me, because I can call some things out like from my childhood that people don't think that I should remember. I got a memory like an elephant. But that brain fog is something else. Another thing is too, is I'm having blurry vision. My daughter had to change my fonts and stuff here on online, because my eyesight is very foggy. Now I forgot to tell the doctor about that today. But I'm gonna tell you, I just thought of one other thing, because right now I don't have on I got my camera up like this because I'm letting the girls hang out, right? I'm letting the girls hang out, right? But I told my doctor today what happens when I take my bra off, the pain that it causes in my port when I take my bra off. And he suggested to me to just walk around and hold that one breast up. And I thought to myself, so instead of you figuring out what's going on with the pain that's there in my port, which is not a thing that should be happening, you gonna suggest to me that I walk around, and that just the natural thing to do, to walk around and hold on to your boob all day long when you want to be free from the bra. I can't believe that. My things, I was scrolling, didn't get a notification. Just glad to see Tashana. It's good to see you too, TT. Phoenix, God bless you too. Phoenix, you finna get ready to go. I love you, girl. I know you ain't going to bed. I know you going over there. I know you, Phoenix girl. I know what you meant, TT. I know what you meant. This my head scarf of one of my ancestors that has passed on. I just don't really show her face and everything on there. But it's just like sometimes I can put this head scarf on and things be happening sometimes when I put this, when I get into what the things that I saw. And she is definitely someone. I told y'all about a story that one time somebody put witchcraft on me, right? And I was in the corner and I was having see, this is a whole nother story that I'm about to get into, and I ain't trying to stay on here with y'all all night. But being that TT bought this scarf up, I remember one night I was having an episode and I was backed in the corner because my husband was having a bonfire outside, and a whiff of the smoke came to my nose and it sent me into a panic attack, and I was like, oh my god, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. I can remember it. And she was the first person in my process that came around me, and she saw me going into that. And she just went into a place that she did not cater to what was going on with me. But she went into this prayer, and after a while I couldn't understand nothing she was saying. She was speaking in tongues and all of that stuff. I don't know if y'all ever heard of that before, but she began to speak in tongues, and before I knew it, the panic attack was just going away. Just going away. And she just kept speaking into it, kept speaking into it, kept speaking into it. She didn't cater to anything that was going on. It was just her and God in that moment. And I'm going to never forget that. Never forget that. So when her time was coming near, I was trying to make sure I was there for every second of it. And while she was here, I tried to pour out so much love into her every chance that I could. But yeah, that's who's on this headscarf. It's good. Your tummy is better. Absolutely. It takes me all day to accomplish one task. Woo, Miss Beverly. I started to record myself changing the sheets on my bed. I can get one of my children to change my sheets on my bed without a doubt. But I'm a person that I'm used to doing things for myself, not having to ask people to do a lot of things for me or whatever. It can take me about 2 to 3 hours just to change the sheets and the pillowcases on my bed. That's a task in its own. When you going through chemo or something, it's like it take you forever to get that one pillow out of that pillowcase. You out of breath by the time you finish taking one out of there. And I got three big ones. And then to think about putting the new one on there, all day process. All day process. Are you on Lyrica? No, I'm not on Lyrica. I haven't heard of that one yet, but probably be done heard about it. I'm on everything else. I think I got about 24 pill bottles over there, two different kind of two different kind of insulin. And then I just happened to look at the notes the other day and realized that in the note they highlighted it with a green marker. But I don't be paying attention to everything those people saying. That's why they need to make sure that they say it and tell it to you. They put me on one prescription and told me not to stop taking the other prescription. But the funny thing is, there's a lot of these medicines and stuff that they prescribing for me. I don't be taking that junk. I don't. I do not. And the only one that I have got into is since they told me that I have an aortic aneurysm, and blood pressure will help to stop that aneurysm from getting there because I'm going through so much stress and stuff at certain times. It would be good for me to take the blood pressure medicines to keep my blood. And it's not like it happens all the time because as I stay in the hospital, and I know it's not happening all the time because as I'm in the hospital, the moment that my stress goes down and I'm not in the pain that I'm in and everything, I can have a normal blood pressure with no problem. It's only the times during stress that my blood pressure, stress and pain, is when I have those issues. But now, since we got this aortic aneurysm, I'm taking the blood pressure and I'm doing the insulin every day. The rest of this stuff that they giving to me, I had one panic attack into the hospital. One about a week and a half ago. And then they prescribed me a medicine that I need to take twice a day, every day. I'm like, no, y'all just keep on pushing them more medication, more medication, more medication. If I pull out all of my medication right now, I feel like I can play a board game with them. It's so many of them. And then I still got four sitting at the pharmacy right now that they want me to pick up and start taking that too. Enough Stoop stay. That doctor did his cred snatched ASAP immediately. My pain is caused by nerve damage. Do you have for the nerve damage? Let me see. What that one is? Bio pectin or something like that right there. That's the newest one they done gave to me. Biopentin or something like that. Y'all, a lot of people was calling that medicine out to me the other day. That medicine right there make you sleep just like the chemo make you sleep, and you can't wake up from it. From the chemo drugs are everlasting. Yeah. So right now, a week and a half ago, my legs were so swollen that I ain't have no ankles. That they were trying to say that wasn't coming from it, but then come to find out, my kidneys went from working 100% to 88%. And it's like they not name. It's like the doctor feel like this ain't major stuff that they naming to me. My kidneys going from 100% to 88%. You got to be kidding me. I wish I had something from my ancestors. Keep on looking, Gamma. You got something there. They passed a lot of stuff down to you before they left here. You just ain't ran into the stories yet, but you got them. God is the chief physician. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I thought what the physician put down today, TT, I thought his word was bond. Only to find out the nurse had the last say so. Speaking in tongues, you're such a blessing. You too, Miss Beverly. You done came through and you definitely blessed me. Okay, Cosmic. I ain't no damn Oprah and don't want to be her. So when you learn what my real name is, you might get unblocked. Okay. Oprah is actually somebody that I don't see it for. Keep preserving. You sure right. She more real than Oprah, maybe. No, I that's a definite. I don't see it for Oprah like that. I actually think they have a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, but that's a whole nother conversation right there. At one point it's like anyways, I ain't gonna even go on to that. But my name is not Oprah over here. So I don't receive that. I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. I feel you on that one. You're tickling me, board. Yeah, I can play a board. I'm telling you, Darcy, I can pull it out of here, but I won't pull those medications out because you do know medications help you get robbed, right? People so crazy and stuff around here according to what kind of medications you got. Yeah, there you go, Beverly. You named it gabapentin. Yes. Don't we all gotta start? Look at Tammy came through and said it too. Yeah, that gabapentin. I got that too. Got that too. That thing right there, they gave it to me and made me sleep for 2 days off of one pill. One. And then a nurse came and she called me and told me, she said that if it made you sleep like that, maybe you should only take it during the times that you need it and you're able to get the rest. But gabapentin, everybody was naming. Is those all the same? Gabapentin, Lyrica, and Dulacentin. Yeah, I don't know. But man, you talking about some? I got some. They even listen. The last one they prescribed me with was a perk, and I told them I ain't even no Percocet. Ain't even no use in me picking that one up because I definitely ain't taking that. No. Let me tell you something. I had a C-section one time and got Percocet. Lord have mercy. I thought I had Tourette's. I thought that stuff had gave me Tourette's syndrome. Cause you know what I said? Some people that have Tourette's, they say random words out loud sometimes that they don't necessarily be meaning to say. They just come out. Honey child, I was in that hospital room and it was people there to witness what was happening. I just kept saying random words and I can hear myself like saying them out loud, waking up out of my sleep, saying them out loud. That nurse came back in there for that second dose of Percocet and I told her, I said, let me tell you something. I don't know what that is you bought in here the last time. I said, but don't bring that back in my room ever again. Ever. She said, but ma'am, you just had a C-section. So I say, let me tell you something. Let me tell you what it is that I want you to bring to me. Bring me some Tylenol with codeine in it and let that be it. I say, but whatever that was you bought, she said it was Percocet. I say, I don't want Percocet ever again. No, that stuff was crazy. At least to me. So no, I don't want that with my stomach open and all. No, I don't want that. And she said, ma'am, I don't think Tylenol with codeine in it gonna do that. And guess what? Tylenol and codeine work just fine for me with a C-section. I'm telling you, as I got out of the operating room, the first prescription she bought to me when I was in my room was the Percocet. After she gave it to me the first time, see, and you still got about 5 or 6 more days to come up before you start feeling like it's starting to heal or whatever like that. Right, that's some of your pain going away. I told her on the first time, don't bring that back in here no more. Percocet not welcome up in here. And then they prescribed it for me the other day. No, thank you. Holistic doctors at this point, because that medicine is breaking your body down to shun it. Tammy, I, I trust and believe. I know it. I was just sad today, even thinking, girl, you finna go back home and you finna feel the worst of the worst. Now I did come home, and because iron and the steroids have an effect on your body too. Nowhere near as chemo does, but when I came from the doctor today, I was exhausted. And so tomorrow, y'all know iron will make your body ache. So tomorrow, I don't know what tomorrow's going to be like, but I know from experience from before. You take that iron and your body be aching like you got the flu or whatever. So I'm thinking tomorrow I might just be laying down for the whole day tomorrow. If I don't, then that's fine with me. Hopefully I'll be able to get out and water the garden, get my appointment made for the cardiologist to see them and everything, and move forward with my day. But it is well. Do you need assistance with resources like meals, housekeeping, or financial assistance? Miss Beverly, now that's one of the things that I really do not need. Like, I'm thankful that I have 14 children. And at any given time I could have one of them. I have great family, friends and stuff that's around me. So I'm well taken care of. But you know what too, Miss Beverly, it doesn't stop you from being able to give somebody else some of those resources and stuff that's up in here, because I get a lot of people that come through, and some people are just starting. They haven't had their first chemo session. So if you don't mind, at any given time, you put some of that information and stuff in my chat, and I don't mind pinning it and letting it be known, with the information. And sometimes I'll even take those comments that you put and make videos from out of it, just as sure as I know that some of my people have maybe asked for that information and everything. Because I'm not on the tip. I give the information of the things that's happening to me and the information that I get right then, but I'm not necessarily on the tip of like pulling information for somebody else. But if it's given to me, I don't mind sharing it and repeating it again. So but the financial assistant thing is absolutely yes, because I don't have insurance like that. But when I even tell you about that part right there, God been working it out for me. When things don't seem like it's gonna add up, I done got a phone call from the hospital letting me know, if anything comes up, even if it's with your cancer situation, and they saying that they ain't gonna pay for something, you call us and we'll make sure it get paid for. So like in those situations and stuff like that, people that don't know you ain't got no insurance and everything, um, the hospitals and stuff have financial assistance and stuff like that. I do know about that right there. But again, Miss Bevel, I told you I don't know everything. What you do know, go ahead and share it with us. The gabapentin was giving me stabbing feelings in the heels of my left foot, so I told my doctor I refuse to take it anymore. Ooh, gene gabapentin, but you know the same medicines that they give to people, they give it to animals too, right? So yeah, could be. Um, well, Gene, that's one of the things that I don't take it, and I just named a whole bunch of medicines and stuff that they done given to me. None of it that I take. I take my one. I take Losartan for my blood pressure, and I take the two insulins that I have. I have to take 4 shots per day. And that's all I'm taking right now. That's all I'm willing to submit to in this point. And so far, God ain't told me that I'm wrong just yet. So them the things that I'm gonna ride out with, and I have my reasons for riding out with those things. And the next time, I don't mind you saying whatever it is that you need to say. Probably misspell the cuss words or whatever, so then that they don't be putting no marks and stuff like that. On you, they don't want to show the word. Spell it in a different way, Gene. I don't take all of mine either. Yeah, sometimes you got to make some calls. You got to make some calls. What's best for your own self? Because these doctors will give you anything, and you know there's an incentive behind them to keep on prescribing you all these medicines. Like, I'm pretty sure I can go and put all of this stuff on the table, and somebody will say, "Girl, you don't need to be mixing all of that stuff together." But you ain't gonna get that from them. They hit me with that Fent card on surgery. Ooh, hey, one time they gave that to me, and I was like, "What you said? What you said you gave me?" No, no, no. I have hear too many stories about that right there. I don't need none of that. Don't be giving that to me. Those are for my nerve damage, neuropathy in my hands and feet that chemo induced. Yeah, I know those are things that chemo definitely bring up all of that thing, all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, they never listen. That's the way I feel about tramadol. Makes me feel stuck. So much of this medicine and stuff will make you be stuck. Don't know what you're gonna do. My immune system is compromised. I haven't experienced a whole lot with that right there. And I often forget to protect myself in certain places, but my daughters are great at reminding me, Mom, do you have a mask? So even when we went to the hospital tonight, my daughter was like, Mom, do you have a mask? But I know that when you walk into the hospital, they have masks right there ready for you to put them on. So I ain't going to waste my ones that I'm paying for here, and I'm just use the hospital's own, put on one as soon as I walk through the door or whatever. But my daughters are great at reminding me, put your mask on and stuff like that. Have you had steroids before? Darcy, I had steroids today. Steroids today. Every time I go to the doctor and I get something, actually, steroids is the first thing that they give to me every time that I have a chemo session. It's the first one. It take a half an hour for them to give. It takes a half an hour for them to pump one bottle of steroids into your body. So yes, I have steroids every time. Every time you get chemo. And that's a blessing to have that much help. Absolutely. Susan G. Komen offers a one-time $500 grant. Well, I need her to give me $500. Cleaning for a reason provides two basic cleanings. Lasagna loves offers a lasagna made by volunteer chefs once a month. What? Come on, Miss Beverly. That sounds nice. But then what would it do for my diabetes? Go ahead. The chef can make. I still let him make me. I need to look up every last one. I'm gonna have to come back through this video right here. National Breast Cancer Foundation offers copay assistance. Okay. Well, hopefully, let me pin one of your messages so that when I come back through and I look at this right here, then it can be looked at in the chat and see the information that you brought up here. Miss Beverly, if you feel like it after I end this video to come back up under here, and if you can repost some of those things so that I can be able to reshare them again with other people from my video. I can make shorts from out of them, and and let some of the people know that, because once you start talking about this cancer thing, you draw a lot of people that are going through these situations, so they know to utilize these benefits. They out there for you. I was actually thinking about the last thing I'm gonna say talk about. I think I have a pamphlet that they gave me that where you get a free wig. Now I have not started losing all of my hair and everything, and I actually don't know because up under here I have my hair put it into cornrows, so I haven't taken it a loose in a couple of weeks. So it's time for me to take it a loose and comb it out and see where it is. But y'all know I've been having little hair loss, little at a time, and so But losing hair is not one of the major things that I'm worried about. I'm actually like, when it happens, it happens. It is what it is. It'll grow back. But yeah, I would love to share those things, make shorts and stuff out of them. Back to you, Miss Beverly, and it would always tag you into it. So, just let me know when you post something and it's something that I can share with somebody. I will definitely repost it, and I appreciate you for coming through and sharing all of your information and your testimony with us tonight. I really appreciate that. Darcy say I gotta go sleepy. Good night, good people. God bless all who read this. And I say tenfold right back to you, Darcy. You have an amazing night yourself. But y'all, this is gonna be my time when I'm gonna say good night to y'all. I hadn't talked to y'all about the garden yet, but this is over here at Life with Tashana, where life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're gonna get when you come in here. But this channel is about life. I love to talk to people about growing out in the garden and on the inside. My garden out in the back is, I've tied it to my life. And so when I go out and look at my garden is a direct manifestation as to what's happening in my life. And everybody knows that when I go out in my garden is like green, it's lush, everything is so big and huge. So if everything in my garden that I have attached to my life and speaks into my life, if it's all growing so beautiful, then what must be going on in my real life? But I love to encourage people to grow outside in the garden as you grow on the inside of you. And you will be amazed at what tying those two things together. Just say like you wanted to go to school, and you went outside and you planted a tomato plant, and you said, I'm going to use this tomato plant as a manifestation of what's happening as I go to school, and I want to make it. So I want this plant to make it the same way I want myself to make it. And suppose that tomato plant grow 10 feet tall, which you can actually get it to do. Where must you have been in school while that tomato plant was growing, if it's a direct manifestation of what's happening to you in school? See, even when you're messing up and you're not doing something in life right, your garden, as I've had in my garden before, I've had lettuce growing in my garden and it stayed stunted in the same place for 2 months, didn't move. My lettuce let me know that I needed to do something different. And at the time, it was for me to let some people go at the time. And the moment I did and submitted to what it was, we talking about submission again, as to what God wanted me to do, because God loves his people more than I love them. Sometimes I can hold them back by keep trying to talk into whatever their situation. Sometimes it's time for you to walk away from it and let it be them and God alone, so God can fix those things, work with them on those things. And as soon as I knew that my growth was stunted because of that, and I was able to walk away and move away from it, then my lettuce began to grow. And right now in my garden, you see one of my lettuce I left that go to seed. It's out there and it's done gone to seed, so it's creating me seeds for the next season. So um I love encouraging people, and if you have any questions about the garden, I'm your girl. I can be in the midst of tears and somebody bring up something about in the garden, and I instantly, what you said? What you said? Yeah. I answer. I even make you a video of how you can do that. And I'm into growing things that come from out of the grocery store, where you've already paid your big money for it already, and it's just you can regrow it again. So if you're interested in any of those things, if I got the answers, I give them to you. Each one teach one. If you got some answers for some, give them to me. I'm looking for them. I done growed all kinds of things. I done growed my peaches, my pomegranates, my mangoes, anything that I can get out the grocery store that got a seed in it, I'm trying to grow it. Thank you, Tashana. Plant a good seed and hey, that's one of my sayings, Miss Beverly. Watch what seeds you planting because it's gonna grow. It's gonna grow, and you're gonna have to eat from it. So pay attention to the seeds that you planting. Plant good seed, and your harvest will be good and plentiful. Amen to that, Miss Beverly. You got the last word tonight. All right, enough Snoop. Good night and blessings to you too. You already know what I say. Tenfold, girl. Tenfold. All right, y'all. Y'all have an amazing night, and I will talk to y'all again tomorrow. Y'all have an amazing night. And again, Miss Beverly, I thank you so much for coming through and blessing us with your testimony. You know, some of us need that to know. You can't have a testimony if you ain't got no tests. Good night to you too, Tammy. Good night, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow.